Hello and welcome to another Jujutsu Kaisen video. I know it's been a good amount of time since the manga has ended, and to be honest, after that final chapter was such an uproar of people hating on it, and especially during leak night when we were missing about like 10 plus pages, it was just a wild experience. I wanted to let my thoughts settle for a bit and give me time to see how I truly felt about the ending of JJK, and to be realistic and knowing the time constraints and Gege's health, and possibly any other factors that would lead into the final chapters and the overall ending of the story. Let's go to things that I really disliked about the series conclusion. First off, let's start with Hakare and Arame's fight. Around this time, everyone was fighting Sukuna, so there was many memes about how they were on a date while everyone was dying. I know we didn't want to break away from the fight against the King of Curses, but I would have liked to have seen something, honestly. Maybe a chapter or two of content. It doesn't have to be all constantly in one chapter, but a breakaway or two would have been nice. Like, as a reader, I feel like they were forgotten rather than had a true stalemate. I think both characters have such interesting fighting styles, and seeing more of it would have been a great treat for us. I'm hoping to see this when the anime gets to this point, that we get something more. I know we all hate filler, but anime exclusive stuff is always welcome in my opinion. Next will be something I would have loved to know more about and feel like we were getting there until we weren't, and that's the consequences of breaking a binding vow. This rule felt like otherworldly due to the strongest characters in the series not even wanting to mess with the possibility of breaking a binding vow. I think it was right at the end that I was thinking maybe Sukuna would break a binding vow at the end of the fight and then show us the consequences of it, but I don't know what would be the consequence. I just wanted to see something. Also, knowing why binding vows are so sacred would have also been a big plus too. Just more of like knowing why this is even a thing. Next, we have Kenjaku's master plan. I feel like we should have had a huge reveal for Kenjaku because he always felt like he was the end boss of the series. Yes, we had Sukuna, but to think about the person pulling the strings and moving the plot along, it would be Kenjaku. We had such a crazy opportunity, but something needed to happen at the end of the story. I just felt like Kenjaku dying and not seeing the merger was kind of disappointing. I'm not saying the merger needed to happen, but I think something involving Kenjaku's master plan should have happened. I will talk about the merger later, but I just wanted to know that some part of his plan truly fully went through. There is a relationship that I wish we touched a little bit more, and it's between Tengen and Kenjaku. I felt like I wanted to know more about the fallout of these two friends. I feel like it was very similar to Gojo and Geto, but it would have been really nice to have seen what drove these two people apart. More importantly, how they became such strong pillars of the Jujutsu world, both being immortal in their own sense, something that kind of sets up the current world of JJK, like the star plasma vessels, and if they had to dispute about how they both kept on living, just something to show some type of connection or fallout that they may have had. Even if it isn't fully spelled out for me, a little bit of context to see what it could have happened or the fundamentals that built the Jujutsu world at this current point would have just been nice to know. Now that we're still on the topic of Kenjaku, I really wanted to fully understand Yuji's purpose. There was so much cooking with Kenjaku just creating Yuji. Kenjaku went through so many lengths to create Yuji, taking over his mother's body, giving birth to him, and finding Sukuna's twin reincarnation. Also experimenting on Yuji, like, why is he so strong? Is he like a fully successful cursed womb that was able to fully develop, or is it just because Kenjaku's body he was able to do curse techniques on him or something? I just feel like we have to have some type of answer, or was building up to an answer, but it came out to just like, well, Yuji is the way Yuji is because Kenjaku, he just did it because he could. Now, quickly, something that was shown towards the end of JJK was who Takaba was talking to. We obviously know that that's Geto's hair and his outline, but what was the purpose here? I would have liked to have known if it was either Kenjaku or Geto, or even if it was just the gag lookalike. I didn't feel like there was something that just didn't need to be shown or just didn't need to be put in at all. Might be missing something here, but what was the whole point of the Tengen fetus? Like, Kenjaku sent it to Sukuna saying that his will would be carried on, but like, did the fetus give Sukuna something? Because I thought it was just an added rule that Megumi can start the merger. So was there a purpose to the fetus? I thought it was something like Sukuna latches onto it when he's ripped from Megumi, and that's another host that he can take over, like a second host. I didn't feel like there was something there more to be done with the Tengen fetus, and or in a Tengen fetus state, like a reborn or a new type of something like that. I don't know. I just felt like it was a possibility and it just kind of was there and it just wasn't there. Okay, this might be my biggest issue with the ending of the series. Like, what was the end goal for cursed energy? Was it to continue to be used, evolve it, or to go away from it? I don't even think we got an answer to this. It was something I felt really tied itself to Yuji's character, a perfect vessel for Sukuna, the king of all curses, and for him to take in all the cursed energy and die and leave the world without it. If it was to evolve, wouldn't it have been just the merger itself? But now I just feel like we were left with nothing, which sucked because I wanted to get seriously back into YouTube again off this theory alone, and now I'm kind of just left with nothing. All right, enough of the negative. Now let's get into things that I loved about the story. Sukuna losing was just so good, and I hate that people are calling it bad for so long. Like, the whole fight was everyone pulling out everything they could just to beat him in his current state. Gojo did a number on Sukuna, and he was still holding his own. Binding vow after binding vow, incomplete domain expansion, Fuga, and black flashes. Everyone is putting in the work. Sukuna was going to have to lose, but seeing how he was defeated and still saw himself as a curse was just beautiful. Even at the ending of him saying that he might try a different way of living showed that the cycle had been broken. It was a great ending to the character after such a long battle that really put everything on the line. Even though people felt it was short-lived, I think Yuta taking over Gojo's body without knowing what would happen after the time ran out for his brain transfer technique was just so peak, along with not fully understanding how Gojo was able to do what he does, even though he already had been in Gojo's body before, just shows the sheer height of jujutsu mastery that Gojo had reached. This is like a Hail Mary play for our heroes, but also just glazing Gojo even more after his death. It just felt like a really good plan that everyone needed to keep pushing past their limits and just having every single ace or trump card just thrown out there. Well, it wouldn't have been a good final fight in JJK if it wasn't for Black Flashes, and Yuji is the king of Black Flashes. 8 fucking Black Flashes, man. Holy fucking hype. I know it didn't end Sukuna, but holy shit, leak night, I was fucking screaming, that's my MC, that's my baby boy, and it was beautiful. The way the Black Flashes were written just makes it, if not cooler than domain expansion. It was such a great time looking at those artworks too. I can feel and see every impact of every Black Flash, and my god, my favorite part of this fight was just the Black Flashes after Black Flashes and just like continuously counting them. It made me think of like Nanami in heaven cheering on Yuji with his Black Flash records, like keep going, my boy. Lastly, it could not have been a JJK fight if it wasn't Jujutsu Jump Kaisen and the whole world was jumping Sukuna. Like, when one fell, another one just pops up. Someone had to do something for Sukuna. Not everyone could handle Sukuna, but everyone got that smoke. Everyone did their best, even if it didn't last a chapter or two. Todo coming back, Yuta domain expansion, Maki stabbing Sukuna, Miguel coming in clutch, Wei teleporting everyone, Higuruma taking away Sukuna's curse tool, Kashimo just going all out, and even Kusakabe having the time to shine. Also, we have Nanami having a little moment too, where Ino is using his curse tool. My god, was this just so fun to watch unfold, and rereading it too. Oh my god, was this the definition of Jump Kaisen, and it was fucking glorious. Now that we have our highs and we have our lows, we're gonna go right down the center and we're gonna do things that I feel neutral about. I don't love them and I don't hate them. It just kind of feel okay about them. And the biggest one is the merger. I felt like the plot point was put in the story to be the ending of the series, but it didn't go that far. But after thinking about it, that's kind of okay. It didn't really need to happen. It didn't need to see what it was, because if we did, we lost. Everything we would have been leading up to would have lost, and everything's gone, and it would have been kind of like a shitty ending. I wouldn't have minded if they changed the condition for the merger to happen, but I probably won't be losing sleep over this. It's kind of like, oh, well, the world's gonna be destroyed if that person wins, but you really can't have the world end for your ending, so they can't win. So kind of just left with that. One major point I saw a lot on Twitter was not seeing Megumi's potential was a huge point of criticism for the ending of JJK as well. I understand that Megumi didn't need to change too much, but in terms of strength toward the end, it's not really different from when he started the Culling game. And he finally decided to fight alongside his friends and, you know, be with them. And that's kind of like development that he kind of needed as a character. If you want to look at any type of potential with the 10 shadow technique, just look at what Sukuna was doing with the 10 shadow technique, and there's your possibilities, and it becomes even more endless from there. I still don't think you need to be shown everything to us, but sometimes people just want to see it. And also, sometimes you don't need all of your characters at the end of the manga to be all on top of the power ladder. I just really love that at the end of the day, it still remains Gojo and Sukuna, and that's how it ended. One of my most popular videos is my theory that Yuji would die at the ending of JJK, but after all this, I really just feel neutral about the subject now. I kind of want him to be happy and see him move on with his life and still be who he is. I felt like there was a theme of him dying was very strong, but after the ending, I'm kind of okay with where he ends the story. I love my baby boy, and I want nothing more than him to live on with his friends. Another major complaint on Twitter that I was seeing was Sukuna's backstory was something a lot of fans really wanted, but for me, I really didn't mind. I felt like I understood the character enough, and adding more flashback to the Hiron era wouldn't have really changed much. Also, I enjoyed that he was just stuck in his morals and just wanted to be a curse and never swaying from that. The flashback we got were already good enough in defining who he is and how he was during that era, so I felt it was okay. Next, there's something people all wanted to see, and it's like a funeral for Gojo or some kind of, you know, tombstone for Gojo at the end, but we didn't get any. Yet, even though it would have been nice to have some kind of send-off, I think it kind of, we've already been mourning Gojo for so long. We've been mourning him for ever. We have, as a fan base, have kind of given him his own funeral, and I think putting in the ending really wouldn't have added anything more or have given anything but, you know, he's dead. The characters have already mourned his death enough as well, and it's nice to see them remembering him and moving on, and even seeing Gojo in the final chapter was nice to see as well. All right, this is the last one for me, and this is very picky. I really would have liked to see more about Grandpa Yuji, to do more or just have a bigger role in the story, but after the ending, it's okay. I think it would have helped link Kenjaku to Yuji, but that's all I really needed it for. Just thought that his impact would have been a little bit more than just Yuji's grandfather, or figured out he was some reason that he was pushing everyone away. But at the end of the day, it just really didn't impact the story that much, and if they gave me anything, I felt like it would have been whatever. There is still so much to dive into on the JJK series, but I just wanted to make something that had my rambling thoughts. I think I'll go down the line and maybe make a video about the ending alone and how it kind of was concluded and how I felt about it, but I think I'm not good enough yet to express or analyze it that well. Anyways, thank you for making it to the end of the video. Please let me know your thoughts about the final arc of JJK and the ending, and I hope we have a fun conversation with all of you in the comment below. I have been your bestest bro, and I'll see you when I see you. Another video in the books. Time to work on another script.
Are you forgetting something?
Oh, hey, Radio. I just finished a video. I'm about to start on another script.
I said, are you forgetting something?
Oh, you're talking about promoting the fan animation of Naruto versus Ichigo by overworking our animator Omar until he can't use his hands anymore?
Wait, what does he just say?
Exactly. We should let your viewers know.
Until I can't use my hands anymore?
Yeah, of course. Take it away, Radio.
Become a patron today to help us finish the very anticipated Naruto vs. Ichigo fan animation. There are a variety of tiers to choose from, ranging from $2, and if you're feeling really generous, $2,500. Different perks of being a Patreon are Discord access, live streams, daily updates if Omar remembers to post it, and much more. Come and be a part of this amazing community. Thank you for all of your support.